Water contamination is the term used to describe hazardous materials that are polluting a source of water. This could be biological or chemical substances. Dirty water is the world's biggest health risk. The water is not safe and not healthy for people and animals to drink and wash in, and can cause much damage to communities and the environment. It is particularly dangerous to people who get their water directly from a river or dam. Lack of sanitation is the world's leading cause of infection, and only 10% of wastewater gets treated. The rest goes into lakes, rivers, and oceans. As the world population increases, the pollution increases. Dr. Frazinski is one of the leading researchers in the field of the effects and causes of contaminated water in South Africa.
Yes, water contamination is a big problem in South Africa. Many of our rivers and dams are polluted. Things like urbanisation, mining, and changing of the landscape impact on it. Poor water harbours bacteria and parasites that make people very sick and can also cause death. Things like Bilharzia, a parasite that causes rashes, headaches, pain, diarrhea, fevers, and even damages organs, is found in feces that are drifting along in water. Urbanisation has physical disturbances on the land due to building houses and industries, roads, etc. Industries and mines create chemical pollution that hurts the water's ecosystem. As they change the pH of the water, they can even change the temperature of the water. And the increase of people means an increase of sewage. That sewage is then not properly treated and goes into the waters. This then causes great problems. The increase of farming also have a large impact on water sources that have plant and animal life in it. As the fertilizers flow into the water, it creates a large amount of algae that can grow. This algae then sucks all the oxygen and nutrients into it and then dies, leaving other plants and fish without oxygen and nutrients. Deforestation strips the soil of protection, and this allows for erosion. The soil particles then flow into the rivers and block fish gills, and can even build up so much that sun can't get to the plants on the bottom. What's more is that viruses hitch a ride on these particles. Contaminated water affect the community as a whole. To answer this, I talked to Olivia, a local villager in the village of Kasheshe. She told me that their only source of water was contaminated and frequently gives the people diarrhea.
Many people living in South Africa, especially those living in more rural areas, rely on subsistence agriculture, which is when farmers focus on providing enough food to feed themselves and their families, and not for money. If people in a family, a mother or a father, gets sick or ill, or even dies from one of these illnesses, the family will have difficulty providing for themselves. People living in more rural areas will not have clean water or nearby hospitals to get better from these illnesses. Most of the illnesses are caused by parasites, which are passed on more and more because people use rivers and other sources of drinking water for defecation. More and more people are getting
sick. Water contamination is such a big issue. I thought that there had to be some big companies trying to solve it. And there were two, Rainwater and water.org.
Today we're talking to Olivia, one of the founders of Rainwater. So Olivia, what is Rainwater doing to help communities whose only source of water is contaminated?
So basically what we're doing is we collect the water from dams, and then we filter it and we clean it, and then we give it to communities who need it. Rainwater also has a foundation that goes and helps projects, giving poor people the opportunity to learn how to farm and how to clean their own water. This in fact is a building site that we're going to put an infrastructure on, which will allow the people to go and get clean water from, and will be on a reasonable price for them.
So Olivia, how can people get involved in Rainwater's projects?
Well, we have a foundation which needs donations. We can also use the people to come from their homes and help us with building the infrastructures and helping with the projects. This is Rowena, one of the founders of water.org. Rowena, what's your website about and what does it have in it?
Well, water.org's website is all about facts and statistics about the water crisis, so how many people it affects, how it affects people. Some of them are quite shocking, like how many people die each year from a water-related disease. So it's all about raising awareness about the water crisis. Yeah.
And what are you doing for communities whose only source of water is contaminated?
Well, what we do is we're building some facilities where people can get fresh, clean water from for an affordable price. And also what we do is sometimes when the poorer families who don't have a big source of income, they go to the bank and ask to borrow money to pay for their water, but they might not be able to pay the bank back. So what we do is we pay back the majority of the debt.
How can people get involved into your projects?
Well, our website has a link where you can donate so that we can make more facilities, and it also helps us pay back the people's debt to the bank, so that's how you can get involved.
So is there an actual solution for this problem? Let's go back to Dr. Brzezinski, who has an answer.
I don't think that the problem can be resolved completely, as the world's population is growing, and so are its needs. Everyone needs a house, everyone needs food, everyone needs oil to power their car, and other wants and needs. I think the best thing to do is the smaller things, such as treat sewage properly, don't defecate in water sources, treat chemical waste, try to limit the fertilizer running into the water when harvesting trees for wood, plant another in its place. Companies have to be extra vigilant with chemicals and waste while mining and producing products. We have to try and be more careful with the water sources and the impact we have on the environment.
Water contamination is such a big issue, it will be hard to resolve it completely. There are many people and organisations like that at Randwater and water.org that are trying to resolve it. Sure, things like mining, urbanisation and farming impact and contaminate water, which then can affect people and the environment. But there are many ways to prevent and fix water contamination, such as taking proper care of waste and chemicals and being careful with what leaks into water sources.